Hiya guys and welcome back to another of my videos. Today we're doing a deck profile for Magic on my Doctor Who deck. Now this is the first time that I'm doing this for the Commander deck, so just bear with me. So starting off with the Commander, with the Companion, obviously he was using Clara as the Companion, with the 14th Doctor as the Commander. As you can tell, this is a proxy because, as you can see, it's from the Secret Lair, which can be kind of pricey. So I've opted for the proxy for the minute until I can actually get the actual real card. So, 14th Doctor works with the main focus of the decks, which is Gallifrey Falls. So Gallifrey Falls, when it enters, it adds all Doctors from the graveyard to the hand. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a Doctor card from your hand to the battlefield. And then if you control 13 or more Doctors, you win. So, the 14th Doctor allows you to, when it enters, to reveal the top 14, put all Doctor cards in the graveyard, and allows it then become a copy of it, of any one of those Doctors you pick. So then, obviously, then works with Gallifrey Falls, because they're in the graveyard, you can then put them into your hand, and then summon them down. Then you've got Clara, which is basically like a Roman throne, but for Doctors. So you choose a colour for it before the game. So, for example, one way this is played, you can choose black, for example, which we're not doing in this deck, but you can use black, so then you have access to the enemy faction as well. And then, if a trigger ability of a Doctor you control triggers, they basically trigger additional time. So as I said, like a Roman throne. Because, as you can tell, 14th Doctor uses all but the black mana. It is quite handy in that you can use a range of the decks using the three what we're using, which was the Paradox Power, Blast from the Past, and the Timey-Wimey. So, of course, we're going to be using a lot of artifacts, and of course we'll be using First Doctor, search for TARDIS, and then when you cast a spell with Cascade, you put a 1/1 counter on target artifact or creature. 2, which allows player to have people to have no maximum hand size, and then at your end step, each player may draw a card. Then each opponent who does draw a card cannot target you or your permanents you control during the next turn for attacks. You got the Third Doctor. He's all about tokens. So he's got trample and gets a 1/1 for each non-creature token you control. And then when he enters, you can add a clue, a food, or a treasure token. You got the Fourth Doctor. He allows you to look at your top deck of your card anytime, and then once per turn, you may play historical land or cast a spell from the top of your library. When you do, create a food token, so that then coincides with the Third Doctor to allow you get a 1/1. Then you got the Fifth Doctor. So at the beginning of your end step, he puts a 1/1 counter on any creature that didn't attack or that entered the battlefield this turn, and then you untap those creatures. So it could be quite good, obviously, for then attacking and then untapping it and blocking. Next is the Sixth Doctor. Whenever you cast or Explorer, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. And then it only says it can trigger once per turn, so obviously it isn't affected by Clara. You got the Seventh Doctor. Whenever he attacks, you choose a card in your hand. The defending player must guess its mana if it is greater or lower than the artifacts you control. If they guess wrong, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. And then if you don't cast a spell, you can investigate, so getting a clue. And you got the Eighth Doctor. So when the Eighth Doctor enters the field, you can mill the top 3 cards, and then once per turn you may play a historical land or cast a permanent spell from your graveyard. If this permanent will bleed the field, it's exiled instead. Using the Ninth Doctor, haste, and he's got the ability to become untapped during your untapped state, and you get an additional upkeep after the step. So obviously, if you're getting tokens, getting counters or whatever, handy for that. Got the 10th Doctor. Whenever he attacks, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile non-land. Put 3 time counters on it, and if it does, it doesn't have to suspend, it gains suspend. So basically, that's used to basically, instead of paying the mana cost, use it as a spend, and then after the free time counters expire, you can apply it. And then also you got timing over, that was time travel 3 times, activating it as a sorcery, so it gets us to use 7 mana. So then obviously you use that card, you then pay the 7 mana, you play it straight away, so it's can be handy. Alright, using the 11th Doctor. When the 11th Doctor deals damage, you may exile a card from your hand with a number of time counters on or equal to its mana value. If it doesn't have suspend, gain suspend. And then you can pay 2 mana. Target creatures with 3 or less power cannot be blocked this turn. Using 12th Doctor. First spell you cast from anywhere other than your hand has Demonstrate. So you can make a copy of that spell. And then whenever you copy a spell, you put a 1/1 counter on the card. Then we've got the numbered Doctors I'm using, which is the 13th. And then whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. And then at the beginning of your end step, untap each creature you control with a counter on it. So obviously with the time counters all working in conjunction. Using the War Doctor, using the time counters, whenever one or more permanents face out, or whenever one or more cards is put to exile from anywhere, put a time counter on the War Doctor. And then whenever it attacks, you can deal damage equal to the number of those counters. And then if you deal it to a creature and it dies, it's exiled. And then just lastly for the Doctors, using the Fugitive Doctor. And then when it enters, you investigate. So obviously once again you can get another clue. Whenever it attacks, you can sacrifice a clue. And if you do, target a sorcery sorcery instant in your graveyard, and it gains flashback. So you pay 2 mana as well as a mountain and forest, and that's till the end of the turn. And basically, flashback makes it so you can apply it from the graveyard. Alright, so that's the Doctors. So according to Gallifrey rules, you need 13 or more. So we're using 15. Plus the 14th Doctor counts, so that would be... anyone? That's 16. So obviously because we've got a lot of different mana pool we need, so using different artifacts, so using Sonic Screwdriver, adding any mana, Talisman of Impulse, Arcane Signet, 500 GG Diary, so for each clue it gets a water mana. Using Thought Vessels to get colours. Talisman of Curiosity. Of course using a Soul Ring. Mind Stone. Talisman of Unity. Talisman of Progress. They all help with the mana pool, and then just for a little bit extra, we're using Hero's Podium. So each of the legendaries you control get 1/1 for each other legendary creature you control. And then you can tap for X amount of mana, which is your choice. You look up to X amount of cards of your library, you may reveal a legendary creature among them, and put it into your hand, and then put the rest of them in your library in a random order. Sorry, at the bottom of your library. So obviously the whole entire deck is mostly legendary creatures, as far as I know. So obviously everyone gets it. And then lastly, for the artifacts, you're using the TARDIS, of course. So I don't know if you've noticed yet, but this whole entire deck will be Doctor Who cards, not using anything else of it, just these cards. Alright, moving on to enchantments. It's a good number of sagas. They're using City of Death to create a treasure token for stage 1, and then for the rest of stages, create a token that's a copy of a non-saga token you control. So all these tokens before we create by the Doctors, such as the clue, the food, treasures, and all the rest of it, we can make a copy of them. Knight of the Doctor. So we destroy all creatures, and then return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield of your choice of first strike, vigilance, or life counter on it. So it'll be handy if one of these doctors are put there after Gallifrey Falls stands is put there. Sorry. Using the Unearthly Child for all 3 stages, you can reveal the top card. Reveal cards on top of your library until you reveal a doctor card, a card of Doctor's Companion, or a vehicle card in there. You put that card into your hand, put the rest of them of your library in a random order. So can we have obviously to find a doctor? Using 11th hour, so you search yourself for a doctor card itself, put in your hand. 2 is create a food token and a 1/1 white human token. With Doctor Special Control cost 1 less. And for the 3rd one is create a token. That's a copy target creature, except it's a legendary alien, name prisoner 0. And then last for the sagas. Put that down there so you can actually read it. Piling of the Wage, exile top card, 5 cards to your library. For each non-land card you exile that this way, put a number of time counters on that card equal to the number of its mana. And then if it doesn't have suspend, gain suspend. 2, try and travel, then try and travel again, basically getting rid of 2 counters. And 3, for each opponent, destroy up to 1 target artifact that player controls. Also using Regeneration Restored, banishing 12, so 12 is the mana cost. This enchantment enters the battlefield, it enters with 12 counters, not the mana cost. And in the beginning upkeep, move a time counter from it. When it's last remove, sacrifice it. And then basically it plays as whenever 1 or more time counters is moved from regeneration's restored, scry 1, you gain 1 life, and then if regeneration stores has no time counters on it, exile that, and then when you do, take an extra turn. And then last for enchantments is Day of Destiny, which is legendary creatures you control get 2/2. So that's 2 power and 2 toughness. Alright, so today I'm using a new stand, so hopefully we can just get used to this. So that's artifacts and enchantments done, as well as doctors. Moving on to instants. I'm going to leave the creatures not for lastly, because you might enjoy that. Alright, so using Growth Spiral. You draw a card and you can play additional land this turn. So this instant is a double one, so you either play the mountain or the plains. You've got Gallifrey Falls, deal 4 to each creature, and then if a creature is dealt damage this way would die, exile it, which is Gallifrey's full side, no more side. Any number of target creatures you control fades out, so basically they're making it unaffected by damage. Got Flatline. Creatures your opponent controls have base power and toughness 0/1 until end of turn. So obviously using board wipe, so like using that Gallifrey Falls in conjunction with Flatline to kill everything. Everybody Lives. Obviously I feel a lot of good things with this, and I've used it and I know it's great. All creatures gain hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. Players gain hexproof until the end of the turn. Players can't lose life this turn, and players can't lose or win the game this turn. So the good side about it is obviously no one can win or lose, so if someone activates the winning condition, activate that instantly. The downside is obviously then if Gallifrey stands activates while that's active, it negates basically. Decaying Time Loop. You discard all cards in your hand and draw that many cards. So reloading basically. And in Retrace, you may cast this card in the graveyard by discarding a land in addition to its power and paying its other costs. Swords to Plowshares, exile target creature, its controller gains life equal to its power. Now zoom out. Using Puffle's Exiles, literally exile target creature, its controller may search for a basic land, and then put the land into the battlefield tap, then shuffle. And then last one is Heroic Intervention. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible to the end of the turn. Alright, sorceries. So a lot of these are just going to be deck searches. So we've got 3 visits. Search for a forest and put it onto the battlefield. Farseek. Search for a plains, island, swamp or mountain. Put it onto the battlefield tab. Shuffle. The 5 Doctors. Got a kicker for paying an extra 5 mana, but you search the library or graveyard for up to 5 Doctors, build them, put them in your hand, and then if you search the library, you shuffle. If you activate the kicker, you then put them onto the battlefield instead of putting them in your hand, so it can be quite good. Obviously, helps with Gallifrey stands. Using Explore as well, which allows you to play an extra mana and you draw your card. Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey, time travel and draw a card. Rank and rebuild. You choose one, you destroy a target artifact enchantment, you email 5 cards, and then put a land from the graveyard onto the bit of the tap. As well, this has flashback. Farewell. You choose one or more. You exile all artifacts, exile all creatures, exile all enchantments, or exile all graveyards. So you can even do all of that just to destroy everything. Twice upon a time, so you have a choice of searching the library for a doctor card, you reveal it, put it in your hand and shuffle. Or if you have 2 or more doctors, you can take an extra turn after this one, but then you exile this card. And then lastly, can't exactly see this, let me zoom out slightly. You've got Coward Killer. One side, on the coward side, your target creature can't be blocked this turn and becomes a coward in addition to its other types until the end of turn, and you can time travel. And then Killer. Killer deals 3 damage to target creature, each other creature that shares a creature type with it. So it can be handy for these decks using one type, such as dinosaurs. Alright, we'll do creatures actually, and then we'll move on to land, and that'll be the last of it. Alright, so we've got K9. Alright, so K9. As long as K9 is untapped, other legendary creatures you control have Ward 1. And then you can use one mana and then 1 island. And then you target creatures, and target creature can't be blocked this turn. Using Jamie McCrim. Trample, whenever you cast a heroic spell, he gets an X till the end of the turn, where X is that spell's mana value. Using Rose Tyler, Rose gets a 1/1 for each time counter on it. Whenever Rose attacks, put a time counter on it for each suspended card you own, and each other permanent you control with a time counter on it. River Song, draw cards from the bottom of the deck rather than the top. Whenever someone scries, surveys, or searches their library, put 1 more counter on River, and then she deals damage to that player equal to its power. I've misplaced this shouldn't be in this pile, but you've got Inspire and Refrain. This is meant to be in with the sorcery, so that's just me mucking up. You draw 2 cards, and then you exile it with 3 time counters, and because it's been you can suspend it for 2 and then island 1, so then it can keep playing playing itself basically. So play for the sorceries. Alright, so you've got Jenny, generated anomaly. It's got double strike, and then whenever Jenny deals combat damage to a player, it explores. So you reveal the top card of your library, you put that card into your hand, it's a land, and then otherwise you put a 1/1 counter on this card. And then you put the card back or put it onto into your graveyard if it's not a land, basically. Sergeant John Payton. It's got trample and haste. Whenever he deals combat damage to the player, you and that player draw that many cards. So obviously if you draw to 5 damage, you draw the 5 cards. Using Parry, the first exotic spell you cast each turn has convert. So the creatures you have can help cast it, but each pays for 1 mana, or 1 mana of that creature's card. So obviously we're using multiple cards, so that can be handy. You got Leah, the 17 warrior. Whenever an opponent draws a card, except from the first one they draw each turn, put one more counter on this card. So obviously, with your second Doctor getting the opponents to draw cards each time they do that, that can be handy for that. And then we've got Graham O'Brien. So whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you create a food token. So he obviously works with the powered up stuff. You've got Rory Williams, so part of Amy, so then you search for Amy, or first strike light link. When you cast a spell other than exile or 3 time counters on it, you gain suspend, and then investigate to create a clue. Speaking of Amy, you've got Amy Pond. Just like Rory partners with Rory, so you search them, put them in your hand, and shuffle. Whenever Amy deals combat damage to a player, you choose a suspended card you own, move that many time counters from it. Got Martha Jones. When she enters, you investigate to create a clue, and then whenever you sacrifice a clue, Martha Jones and up to one other target can't be blocked this turn. And then last for creatures, using Doom Enforcers, which I think is the only card that's not legendary for creatures. Yeah. So it's got Trample. No more than one person can attack. One creature can attack you each combat, and then you can suspend it instead of paying its cost, which is one. So yeah, one random mana, and then a mountain and planes, but then obviously for this one to suspend 6, so you get 6 counters on it. Alright, so moving on to land. So starting off with the basic land. 2 forests, 3 islands, 3 plains, 3 mountains. Because as I told you, we don't need swamp because we're not using any black cards. So obviously one problem there is obviously we've got less forest than the rest. But our multi-manas help. So we've got Mystic Monastery, and it's tapped, but you can play it as a water, island, mountain, or plains. Perishly Stream, and it's tapped unless you control 2 more lands, can it be used as an island or plains. Root Bound Crag can be used as a forest or mountain, and it's tapped unless you control mountain or forest. Trental Cactar adds adds an island mana. You can put a time counter on it, and then you can play 1 and then 1 mana with 1 island to remove 12 counters from it, exile the card, and then you shuffle your graveyard and hand into your library to draw 7. Requiem Tower, no hand size and 1 colourless. Canopy Vista, they add a forest or plains, and it's tapped unless you control 2 or more basics. Exotic Orchard, adds any mana. Adds any mana your opponent controls. Stone Caves Coast, and it's tapped unless you control 2 or more lands, and they can be used as water or keep doing that. Can be used as plains or mountains. Dreamroot Cascade, and there's tapped unless you control 2 or more lands. You might notice as an ongoing thing. You can be used as forest or island. Overgrowth Farmland. Once again, and it's tapped unless you control 2 or more lands. It can be used as forest as plains. Ripening Bluff, and it's taps, and then when it enters, you choose a colour other than red, and then either mountain or 1 mana of that chosen colour. So obviously, for example, if I'm in Hangothic Forest, I'll use forest. Deserted Beach, once again, tapped in the Still More Lands can be used as plains or island. One glitter snarl, ends appeal, and as it you may reveal a forest or island card from your hand. If you don't, it ends tapped, so it can be used as a forest or island. Temple Alignment, and it's tapped. When it enters Scry 1, and this can be used as plains or island. Path of Ancestry, and it's tapped. Adds 1 mana of any colour in your commander's identities. Obviously, using 4 different manas, so handy. And then when a mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, so obviously this one is Time Lord's Doctor, again can scry 1. Temple of Plenty, enters tapped. When it enters scry 1, can be used as forest or plains. Last few now, so you've got Rockfall Vale, and this tab that you control 2 or more lands, can be used as mountains or forest. Temple of Triumph, and this tapped. Scry 1 when it enters, used as mountains or plains. Gallifrey Council Chamber, when it enters Survey 1, can use 1 colourless, or can you use 1 mana of any colour to spend. You can only spend the mana casting a Time Lord of Alien spell, or activate the ability of a Time Lord or Alien. Command Tower, nice and simple. Add any mana in your commander's identity. And then the Veil of the Wilds, sacrifice it, search for a basic land card, and put it onto the battlefield. Tapped and then shuffle. Sorry, just kicked that. So that is it for the deck. Thank you so much for watching and keeping to the end. I hope you like and subscribe. I will hopefully be able to do some more of these videos. Obviously, I'll be getting better at this as I go, doing these magic decks. As I said, hope you like and subscribe. I've got some other stuff in the works for Pokemon. Obviously, I'll do some updated stuff. And yeah, hope you like and subscribe. I've been Lightning, Member of the Eyes of Blue, and I hope to see you in the next one.